Something's causing low water pressure in one of your faucets, maybe even your toilet. That's when you get this and this. Oftentimes, these low pressure problems are caused by some sort of localized blockage. Because if the blockage to your water inlet was more wide area, let's say, then you wouldn't get normal pressure from one tap, but not the other. Of course, the hot water is making a longer run through the water heater before making it back here, but you get the point. So what's causing the blockage? Gunk in the form of oxidized iron or oxidized manganese. Usually. But in the case of traditional faucets, you know, the old types with rubber washers, sometimes the washer will become loose, either from wear or the screw holding the washer in place will loosen up. Then the floppy washer will partially block the flow of water. In those cases, you might even hear a loud whistling sound as water flows over the washer. It's a vibration. Or a repeating banging sound as the washer is pushed and pulled, intermittently reducing the flow of water, sometimes to the point that the pipes tremble and shake. It's pretty much the same vibration as the whistling washer, but at a much
lower frequency.
But what's causing the reduced pressure to the cold water tap in my workshop? This faucet uses ceramic cartridges, so it's probably not a loose washer. Though I do recall one time, some years ago, when I discovered to my absolute shock a chunk of rubber washer trapped where it had no right to be, stuck inside a ceramic cartridge. The only way that piece of interfering junk could have gotten there is if some plumbing had been done somewhere in that 6-apartment building. The water had been shut off and drained down to the basement purge valve, and that fragment of washer had flowed down. And when the water had been restored, the first tap to be turned on had that morsel of rubber flowing with the newly returned water to its final resting place, trapped inside that ceramic cartridge. True story. I know the blockage is local and probably in a bottleneck in my plumbing. A cartridge is a fine example of a bottleneck, so let's take a look. Shut off the water, slightly loosen the handle, then remove. Smack the cartridge loose and unscrew. And the problem doesn't seem to be here. I'm running some water from the open cartridge-less top. This isn't something I'd normally do, but this is my basement workshop. Still no pressure. Next, I'm disconnecting the connector from the faucet and running water into a pail. Unfortunately, still very little pressure, which means I'll have to remove the connector to move to the next junction, or bottleneck. And that's where I see a glob of something stuck in the 3/8" side of the connector. That's it right there. A glob of some grayish stuff. You can probably see that right there, right? Yeah. And what is it? It's, wow. Actually, it looks like a pebble or something. It's a tiny little piece of solder. I'll see if I can melt it down. Then we'll know. Will it melt? Oh, yeah. Here's part of it. So it's, hopefully it's mostly tin and not really lead. Where do these little nuggets come from? I think they're just about everywhere in municipal plumbing. and sitting quietly at the bottom of reservoirs and pumps and pipes, and any type of plumbing work jostles these little nuggets, and the flow of water pushes them downstream to our homes and buildings. And no, usually this is iron and manganese, and they're not considered harmful. I think I might know where this is coming from. Let's take a short walk. Yeah, there's an awful lot of plumbing work going on. And actually now we're being fed indirectly. There's a lot of jostling that I was mentioning. And it moves stuff around. Usually the stuff I find clogging up the intakes, the valves for the toilets and faucets and you name it, will be oxidized manganese or oxidized iron. If it's manganese, it'll be dark or black or dark gray. If it's iron, it'll be reddish or brownish. They're both fairly non-toxic and they're common throughout our plumbing. That's it. I hope this helped you. You know, if you've got a clog somewhere, if you've got low pressure in one tap or in your toilet, if it's screaming like crazy, you know what you can do yourself. That's it. Take care, friends. See you next time. Pour more emphasis on it. True story.